Today is February 28th, last day of the month. We're doing lesson 92, percent of change. And what you're looking for to set this type of problem apart from the ones that we normally do with percent ratio box problems is we're noticing that there is an increase or a decrease in there's some kind of a change, an increase or a decrease. And that's going to tip you off that we're using a box involving percent changes. Okay, that's the difference. So you're going to have your original number. Write this down. You're going to have your original number. You're going to have your amount of change plus your amount of change. And that's going to equal your new number. And the only way you're going to know this is to do a bunch of them. Okay? You may even want to go back to the lesson that had ratio boxes when we were doing percent and try to see the difference in the kind of word problems they give you so you can sense one is at a percent like the one we did and one is at a percent change like we're doing now. When you build the box, when you build this box, you're just, depending on how you build it, like the book or like I usually do it, I'm going to do it the book's way, I guess, to make it a little less confusing. We're going to have our three main boxes, our description box, and then here we have our stuff. But we're going to have our percent in the first column, and we're going to have our actual count like we did before. Nothing's changed here, right? Still percent, still actual count. And then we're going to have our part, and our whole. It's going to be a part of something, and then we're going to have our whole. All right, so with keeping that in mind, depending on the type of question, it can also be, you can also do it this way. You can also have, instead of part, it could be, I'm doing a different color, it could be the original amount or the original number. Okay, and then it could be the change when we're doing our percents, and then it'll be the new. Okay, and this in the red is what we're basically going to be using today. An original, a plus or minus, the change will be plus or minus, and then the new. So looking at example problem number 1, it says the county's population increased 15%. So when I'm making notes to myself, I'm going to make notes like this. I'm going to put down population increased 15%. I'll write that down on a piece of paper from 1980 to 1990. The dates don't really matter. Okay, if the population in 1980 was 120,000, so 1980 equals 120,000, what was the population in 1990? So 1990 equals we don't know. All right, so we start off with our using not the part and the whole. We start with the original, the change plus or minus, and the new. As far as the actual count goes, what did we start with? What was our original number? 100 and what? Not a percent. I'm not talking. Well, I mean, listen, you can say we start with 100%. That would be okay. But what's our actual count? 120,000? Right? 120,000, because that was in 1980. 1980 is before 1990, so 1980 has to be the original, right? Because it's the older number. It's the closer time to BC, if you will. So it's 120,000 in 1980. I can put over here if I needed to, off to the side, 1980 to remind myself. And then reading the question, we see that there was an increase 15%. You understand that? So my change is going to be a positive 15. It's an increase 15% or 15. Okay? We don't know what the actual count is yet. Our total, our new is going to be, or our whole is going to be 115% because we're adding the two numbers together. And our new actual count, we don't know either. Okay, so we've gathered the information that we know. We know we started with 100%. We know we started with 120,000 people, and we know we had a 15% increase. But the question is, what was the population in 1990? What was the population in 1990? So we're not concerned about the additional 15%. We're not concerned about what the change was. We're concerned about in 1990 what the new number is, right? So 1990 would be down here. This is what we're concerned with. We're concerned with this portion right here, and we're concerned with obviously what we started with. Remember, we can't have two variables in our problem, and if I use the other box, then I would have two variables, and I can't do that. So going with that, we simply do our fraction. We have 100 over 115. And remember, ratio boxes are saying one side's equal to the other. And then we're going to have 120,000 over n. And we know that we can reduce left to right with an equal sign, right? We don't cross reduce with an equal sign. We can reduce left to right. And for a big number like 120,000, if I'm going to multiply it by 115, I want to be reducing if I can. So let's take the 100 here, and we can reduce that to 1, can't we? And then what's our 120,000 going to reduce down to? 12 what? 1200? 1200, right? Because we have two zeros, so we're getting rid of two zeros, so we're going to be left with, this changes to a 1200. Okay? We have 1 times n equals n, and then if we take 1200 times 115, or if you didn't want to reduce, 120,000, and then times that by 100 divided by 15, the number you're going to wind up with is 138,000. Okay, so we can take this n, we can put 138,000 in there, and we know now what our new population was going to be if there was a 15% increase of 120,000 plus a 15% increase. It would give us 138,000, which then tells us more than we want to know, because now we know that 15% of 120 is obviously 18,000. Now, that would be an easier way to solve this problem, by the way. If you did an is of, you can solve this as an is of problem. You can say, how can you word that? What is, how would that work? You couldn't do that. Oh yeah, what is 115% of 120,000? You can do it that way. You can say, what is, and what do we say, or what number is means equals, right? What number is 115% times 20 times 120,000. You could set it up and do it that way. That's not a ratio box. So if you understand the ratio boxes a little bit better, that'd be the way to do this. This is a ratio. They're telling you to use a ratio box. They're not saying you have to. They're just showing you you can use a ratio box to solve this problem. If you choose to do it as an is of problem, you have to convert this percentage to a decimal or a fraction. What would the decimal of 115% be? 1.15. You're just moving the decimal place over two places, right, Amanda? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. You can do it however you want. There's typically more than one way to solve a problem, and they're not specifically saying that we want you to use ratio boxes. We're just trying to teach you the percent change. What time is this class over today? We got a late start today, didn't we? With the lunch again, with chapel and lunch. Okay, so what we'll probably do, we'll probably continue this tomorrow, and then we'll move our test to Wednesday. Okay, we're not going to fly through this. that means tonight your homework is to look at your practice set, or if you want to do 1 through 30 so you don't have to do it tomorrow night, it's up to you. Get it done with tonight. Well, look at the practice set. Sure, try to understand it. Listen, none of it's due until next week anyway, so you can do it whenever you want. I suggest doing it the night of. Whatever we finish up through, probably 90, 91 and 92 is all we've done this week, right? 91, 92. Because we had a test and you guys didn't have class yesterday. So, hey, we're not done yet. Sit down. We still have 2 minutes. Hold on, kids. We got 3 minutes left, actually. We're going to start the next problem and get it rolling here. Okay. Our next problem is, now let's look at this one. The price was reduced 30%. If the sale price was $24.50, what was the original price? Well, they're already telling us in this problem we don't know what the original is. And remember, when we're doing this, let me make my boxes. We have our percent, and we have our actual count. Okay, and then we have our original, our change, and our new. Here's our original. Here's our change. And here's our new. Now they said if the sale price was $24.50, what was the original price? Well, the new price, right, is $24.50, right? What we don't know is what the original price was. So we don't know the original price, but we know that the percentage is always going to start with 100. It was reduced 30%, so we're going to have a 30% reduction or a 30% change, and that's going to be a 70. Okay, so they're asking us what was the original price. They're not asking us what the change was, the original price. So what we need is this block, right, because it has our variable in it, and then obviously we need this block here. All right, so we take, let me scroll this up here. We take 100 over 70 equals x over 24.50. And, of course, we're going to have 70x equals what? What's 24.50 times 100? Well, we're not multiplying it. We got to multiply 100 times 24.50. 2,450, right? And then we divide both sides by 70. That's going to give us x equals, and then whatever that number is, and we're out of time. But look at these tonight. Okay, if you want to do your written practice to get it over with, go ahead. It's not due tomorrow. It's just due Monday. All right? Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow. Could have a quiz tomorrow, so be ready. It won't be on this. It won't be on this, no.